So guys, here's how you use MyFitnessPal. In simple terms, you obviously launch MyFitnessPal Start and it'll usually bring you to your homepage. Now, as exciting as it may be to do some TikToks, let's not do that. We're going to start by clicking on Diary and work on logging food. As you can see, I've logged some food that I've already had today, and actually I've logged some food that I plan to have today as well, because as part of planning out my day, I tend to log things in advance. That way, I know how many calories I have to work with. It helps me from going overboard. So if I know I'm going to have some Greek yogurt and blueberries, probably right after I finish this video, well then, and I'm going to have some chili with rice later on, then I know that I've got another 840 calories, you can see by the top, left for the day. Now let's add some things. So let's add the breakfast I can add. Now, if I wanted to add something I've had previously, I can see my history, I can scroll down fine, no problems. But let's say there's something I want that I haven't had before. So let's put in a bagel, because I rarely have those. A couple of options came up there, but if nothing comes up, you can just type in the word, then press search, bottom right, and you can see all these different things come up. Now, see these green ticks? These are ones that have been approved. This doesn't mean they're the most accurate, but they are quite good. So it usually means you have more details are in there for it. So, because occasionally sometimes it'll be logged and it'll just say the calories, you won't have the carbs, the fats, the proteins. So if I want that bagel, I can top right press add, and that will add it to my breakfast, you can see. Now I actually didn't have that, so I want to get rid of that. So I can just left swipe on that and press delete. Very, very simple. If I want to scroll day to day, I can go yesterday, the day before. As you can see, I actually haven't been logging the last couple of days. But if I had, you would have seen my previous days. Now what I actually tend to do when I do log all the time, and I'm going back to logging again today, hence the fact you can see my logging starting, is that I'll plan out the meals I'm going to have that week and just preload them. Again, as I mentioned earlier, that just allows me to see what other calories I have to work with. That way I can't make the mistake of accidentally overeating, because I know exactly how many calories I have to work with. Now if I want to see how much I've eaten that day, now I know the day isn't finished, but if I do, I can scroll on to the bottom, I go to the bottom left nutrition, and this shows me my summary. So my protein, my good total versus goal, my carbs total versus goal, everything there, and then your fat total versus goal. If I want to see my calories, so I can do that by day view or by week view, whichever you prefer. If you want to see calories, just on the left, calories, again, day view versus week view. Now you'll notice I only went through protein, carbs and fats. The reason that is because, yes, everything is important, but from a sheer initial, what I'm looking to get my goals, be they aesthetic or performance, day one, the most important thing is my carbs, protein, fat. In fact, I'd take a step further back. If you meet your calorie goals and your protein goals, you'll get 90% of the way to getting those aesthetic and performance goals that you want. It's after there, after that 80 to 90% that you really want to dial in the carbs and fats, and after you get that, the last few percent you can get by going after the other things. So when people are looking at those other things, they're usually trying to go after little things and ignoring the big bulk things. So that's always something to focus on. But that's how I look at my stuff. Now to set your goals, you go back into your home, and then bottom right you see more. I'll press more. From here you can see, if I scroll up a little bit, there it is, goals in that circular one. Now I'll have sent you a goal target, so you can ignore the starting weight, current weight, goal, etc., because that will give you an accurate calorie amount. That puts me at nearly like 700 or 800 calories less than I need, and I've got a very low calorie amount put right now because I'm not doing much activity because of being inside quite a lot. But what you do is you click on this one here saying nutrition and goals, calories, carbs, protein, fat. You'll put in the total calories that I asked you to put in, and then you'll click on either carbs, proteins or fat. All of them will bring you to the same calculator, and then you get the percentages the way you want based on how I've asked you to work. Whoops, there it is. And then that will save, it'll update as you can see, and then there you go. Now I know you can do daily goals for cycling and stuff like that by getting the pro version, or the premium version, excuse me, but that's not required. I've never used it myself. I don't need it. I think it's way, way over the top. But if it's something you want, hey, feel free. But again, I've never recommended anyone to get it because you can do so much without it. If I want to add a recipe then, as you see, I'll have recipes. I'll click on My Meals and Recipes here, and then I'll create a recipe at the bottom. I can do it for the web or enter my ingredients manually. I'll put a name. Here's the important thing. I'll put the serving. So when I did my chili originally, you'll see the FL chili in there. I put in all of the ingredients and I said it serves, say, 5 servings. That will then put all those ingredients in and then just divide them into 5 and do all the maths for you. Once you've saved it, you can come back out and then just literally add. So I've got a breakfast I have quite regularly on the boost I added there. I can either edit that recipe, or I can add to diary and add it when I want. Breakfast today. I'll actually, you know what I'll do? I'll put it into my lunch today, so you can see it added. Now it brings me back and we're going to lunch, and you can see I've had that for the second time today. Now again, I don't want that, so I'm going to delete out of that. One last thing to say, guys, when you're coming to adding things, if you have a barcode, you can go top right barcode. Let me show you that again. Top right barcode. And then, now I usually won't log exercise or water, but in this case, I can just get over my thing. As you can see, because water has no calories in it, I can add that in as much as I want, but I don't tend to add exercise or water. The reason I don't tend to add the the exercise, my apologies, is because a lot of these calculators haven't gone technologically in advance yet to really actually do that for you. So I'd rather that I, as the coach, set your calories, and then we can adjust based on what we see happening in the gym and your exercise. A lot of them either overestimate the calories, which is bad, or underestimate calories, which is just as bad. I find doing it our way is much more accurate, much more beneficial. Any question on this? As always, let us know.